Hey everybody. Hi everybody, I'm Danny from Posh Guitar Player. Thanks for being here. Today we're going to get into the classic Police song, Roxanne. So let's dig in. Wow, what an incredible song. Grew up loving this song. It was released in 1978 by the Police. The Police, most of you are very familiar with, a trio made up of three incredible musicians, Sting, Andy Summers, and Stuart Copeland. Each of them in their own right are incredible musicians, and put them all together and it's just a powerhouse. What makes this song so interesting is the way that each of the musicians interprets the song. And on this channel, what we always like to do is take those elements and combine it into one part that can all be represented on an acoustic guitar. If you're looking for a way to play exactly the part that Andy Summers played, there's amazing tutorials online, and I'll put a couple links down below if you want to learn exactly what that is. For this channel, what we're looking to do is finding a way to incorporate the chords and the rhythms, and in a way that you can represent all of that on acoustic guitar. The first thing we want to look at is the key that the song is in. The song originally was in the key of G minor. Very ambitious for a vocalist to undertake this key. Sting obviously has a beautiful high tenor range, and he's all the way up to a high D on this. So even if you're a female vocalist, that's a difficult note to reach. So what we're going to do for our arrangement is we're going to take the original key of G minor and move it down 3 steps to the key of E minor. That will allow the vocalist to be able to sing it a little more easily, and also a way to kind of voice some of these chords on guitar in a way that is really full and resonant. The other thing we want to take into consideration is some of the arrangements, other arrangements that Sting has done throughout his career. One that is really special, and not many people know about it, is a version he did on an event called the Secret Policeman's Ball. This was done in 1981, and it was a benefit to Amnesty International. I'll put a link to that below. It's definitely an incredible version that you should check out. The ending of our arrangement is sort of borrowed from the way that Sting played it from that version, so you'll want to kind of look at that and hopefully pick up on that. One of the most interesting elements of Roxanne, and that is really important to capture when you're playing this on acoustic guitar, is the rhythmical elements of the way it's presented. Reportedly, it was originally set up as a bossa nova style song. Sting kind of envisioned that way, but the Police were known for breaking through boundaries, and in that time period, they were working on sort of a very punk, reggae blending style. Stuart Copeland famously helped curate the way that the bass drum hits on this song. It's on the and of 1 and the downbeat of 2, like 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. So that's one element we want to get into the guitar part. The other element is the snare drum. The snare drum is on the traditional 2 and the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll take a look at how all that works. For this song, we're going to use a fingerstyle approach. A lot of you are familiar with that, using your right hand finger style as opposed to using a pick. On this song, I actually do a hybrid version where I start with finger picking, and then in the choruses, I switch over to the pick, and we'll talk about that when we get to that spot. For the classical approach, many of you are familiar with it. It's also known for bluegrass and folk. On your right hand, you have your index, middle, and ring finger, and then your thumb. Those are on the tab as T, I, M, and R for thumb, index, middle, and ring. For classical style, generally you place the first finger underneath the 3rd string, the middle underneath the 2nd, the ring finger underneath the 3rd string, and then the thumb is set free to play whatever the bass note is, either on the 6th, the 5th, or the 4th string. This whole shape, of course, can move to other parts or other parts of the strings. In other words, they could be on strings 3, 2, and 1, or you could shift them up to be here. And we do shift these in this song. Let's take a look at the very first pattern that happens within this. For this, what we want to emulate is Andy Summers' really static, nice reggae feel. In the original, he's in the key of G minor, and he's here on these 3 notes. very short staccato. Beautiful. We are in a different key, so ours is in the key of E minor. So we're going to play just a traditional E minor chord, and we're going to grab these high 3 strings and pull them like this. They need to be short and staccato. How we're achieving that is as soon as I pick it, I put my fingers right back down on the pad of my fingers to stop it. And so it's short. Okay, so that is that part. The next part that we're going to get is the bass, which is the 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1. Take that slowly. You'll notice that sometimes the upper fingers hit at the same time as the bass. For instance, on beat 2, 1 and 2, you're going to hit all of this together. Look at the tab, kind of break it down, go slow so that you understand where everything falls, and you'll get the... Okay? The last element we want to do is add the slap. The slap happens on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most of you are familiar with this idea, sort of adding a percussive element by slapping on 2 and 4. And what we're going to do is add that into this. So we'll have... The challenge with this is sometimes the slap actually lands on the same place, so you're actually hitting some strings. As with always, take it very slow, practice it, break it down so you can see where everything hits. So you're going to have a... Once you get it, you can be very musical with it. You can have the slap be louder so it feels like a really strong snare drum. Okay, that same pattern goes throughout the entire song. Let's take a look at the chords. The chords in this are an E minor, a D6, which is voiced this way, C major 7, like this, B minor 7, A minor 7, this chord, D7, sus4, to an E7 sus4 down here. The Police were famous for using these suspended chords. The Beatles were another band that used a lot of suspended chords. Andy Summers is famous for his suspended chords, and they sound amazing. They sound really great. They work really extremely well in Roxanne. So let's take a look at this. You take the same exact rhythm pattern you're doing throughout and add them over these chords. Let's walk through this. I'll put the tab up after this so you can take a look. E7 sus4. That goes over and over again. Let's get it up to speed about here. The next section is an A minor 7, D7, sus4 to an E7 sus4. That sounds like this. Notice when we go to the E7 sus4, we're going up to these high set of strings, and when we're on the A minor 7, we're on the interior ones, the 4, the 3, and the 2. Same here. And when you switch here, you go to the higher strings. That repeats. Here, I use this voicing of an E. It's an E5 chord. Essentially, it's a big wide chord, looks like this. I'll put the tab up for you can check it out. No thirds in this at all. It's just a big ringing E5, and use that to build up. Also, I use this opportunity to pick up my pick and use it that way so that I can have more of a percussive, more rock and roll sound here. It's an A power chord to a G, and there's this nice little hammer-on lick from the F sharp to the G, C power chord, C5 up to D5. With some nice slides in between to E. And bouncing off that G, G, E, A, G, So let's try that coming out of that verse, going into that chorus more up to speed. So from here, I pick up my pick here, build. Repeat it. This is a spot where it holds for a minute. There's a drum piece where Stuart Copeland sort of pulls the tempo back ever so slightly, and there's this nice little vamp that goes. Against A, so you can go like this. That leads you back into a verse. Like so. Again, I'll have all the tabs up there for you to take a look at and kind of work through that. With this song, it's like anything, go slow. The slower you can go in the beginning so you fully understand where the rhythms fall, it will really help you, and then slowly build your speed up until you get your confidence. And then when you play it at full speed, it feels really powerful and really in the pocket. That's pretty much the entirety of the song except the very, very end. On the record, it just sort of fades out over the over that part. It just fades out. On live, especially on the Secret Policeman's Ball version, he has this beautiful thing that he does at the very end. So for the very ending of the song, I've borrowed the way that Sting interpreted this for the Secret Policeman's Ball. So definitely, if you haven't watched that, go check it out. He's playing in a little bit of a different key than we're playing in for our version here, but the feeling is the same and you'll get a sense of it, especially the melodic notes that he sings, which are just absolutely gorgeous. So after you're doing the chorus, you're gonna hit this chord, which is D7 sus4, but we're doing it down here. It's this D, this A, this C, and this G. Okay, and then this chord that looks like this. It's very much like a B minor 7 with an E in the bass. It's second finger here, open, second finger, little finger here, here, with the E in the bass. And I strum all the way through and then pick up this melodic note here. This is the melody he's singing. That's the melodic notes Sting is singing, and we're going to play it with this accompaniment. Gorgeous. Very nice. Try all this out, guys. I will add a version at the end here where I just do a complete run through. And I also have a version with my acoustic duo called Posh Guitar Player, where I play this arrangement with a female vocalist. Hopefully that will help you get a sense of how this can all pull together. As always, thank you so much for being here, Posh Guitar Player. I really appreciate all your support. Take care. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Here's a full run through of Roxanne with the arrangement that we've been working on at a medium tempo for you to try. Thanks again for watching. Talk to you next time. Go to the chorus. Here's the final chorus into the outro.